Hare Krishna. Welcome everyone to our Srimad Bhagavatam class. Let me offer my prayers. Narayanam namaskritya naram chaivam narottamam devim saraswatim vyasam tato jayam udirayet nashtaprayeshu bhadreshu nityam bhagavata seya bhagavati uttama sloke bhakti bhavati naishtaki. Om namo bhagavate vasudevaya. Om namo bhagavate vasudevaya. Om namo bhagavate vasudevaya. So today we are going to read from Srimad Bhagavatam Canto 2, Chapter 7, text number 36. कालेन मिलितधियाम् अवां श्रनिर्नाम् श्लोकायुषं स्वनिगमो भट्टदूरपरः आविर्हितस्त्वनुयुगं सहि सत्यवात्यां वेदाद्रुमां वितपसो विभजिष्यति स्म कालेन मिलितधियाम् अवां श्रनिर्नाम् शोकायुषां स निगमो भट्टदूरपरः आविर्हितस्त्वनुयुगं सहि सत्यवत्यां वेदाद्रुमां वितपसो विभजिष्यति स्म. Synonyms: Kalena, in course of time, milita dhyam, of the less intelligent persons, avam shreya, considering these difficulties, nrinam, of humanity at large, stoka ayushyam, of the short living persons, swanigamaha, the Vedic literatures compiled by him, bata, exactly, dura paraha, great difficulty, avirhitaha, having appeared as tu, but anuyugam, in terms of the age, saha, he the Lord, he certainly, satyavatyam, in the womb of Satyavati, Veda Drumam, the desire tree of the Vedas, Vita Pasaha, by divisions of branches, Vibhajisyati, will divide, Sma, as it were. Translation: the Lord himself in his incarnation as a son of Satyavati, Vyāsadeva, will consider his compilation of the Vedic literature to be very difficult for the less intelligent persons with short life, and thus he will divide the tree of Vedic knowledge into different branches according to the circumstances of the particular age. So, purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Herein, Brahma mentions the future compilation of Srimad Bhagavatam for the short-lived persons of the Kali age. As explained in the first canto, the less intelligent persons of the age of Kali would not only short-lived but also perplexed with so many problems of life due to the awkward situation of the godless human society. Advancement of material comforts of the body is activity in the mode of ignorance according to the laws of material nature. Real advancement of knowledge means progress of knowledge in self-realization. But in the age of Kali, the less intelligent men mistakenly consider the short lifetime of 100 years, now factually reduced to about 40 or 60 years, to be all in all. They are less intelligent because they have no information of the eternity of life. They identify with the temporary material body existing for 40 years and consider it the only basic principle of life. Such persons are described as equal to the asses and bulls. But the Lord, as the compassionate Father of all living beings, impart unto them the vast Vedic knowledge in short treatises like the Bhagavad Gita, and for the graduates, the Srimad Bhagavatam. The Puranas and the Mahabharata are also similarly made by Vyasadeva for the different types of men in the modes of material nature, but none of them are independent of the Vedic principles. ओमज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकाय चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं भूतगतामेव ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यश्च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैता गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, Hare Ram, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So, welcome devotees. I seek the blessings of all devotees here so that I can speak something based on this purport for the pleasure of my spiritual master and for our deity Shri Nitai Gaurachandra. So, here it is said, here Vyāsadeva, who compiled the Vedas, okay, he himself is feeling this, the entire compilation of the Veda is too complex for the men in the age of Kali Yuga. So if you see the activities of Vyasadeva, Srila Vyasadeva, it is nothing but simply compassion. So bhakti is the output of a bhakti. You can see it's all about feelings. It's not only an emotional like an emotional behavior or something. It is a feeling, but a feeling based on knowledge, based on the knowledge from the Shastra. So that is bhakti. So Vyasadeva here, he is giving the highest feeling, so which are based on the knowledge, that are based on the knowledge, and it is pure and more pure. So Vyasadeva is one, he's full of compassion, and he is saying, let's see in detail how he has come to the conclusion of dividing the entire Veda into many branches. So Rupa Goswami in his teaching is saying that any feeling or behavior that is not based on the Shastras is a problem. Like you can have any, I mean, like everything has a purpose. Like nothing is available, or nothing is set whimsically. So everything has a purpose. But if you don't use it, and if you behave in a way that is not based on the Shastras, it will definitely end up into problems. Like we have seen examples of Ravana, Hiranyakashipu, and all those personalities in the scriptures, who are demonstrated that sort of a behavior that is not aligned to the principles of Shastra. So that definitely leads into problem, and it's well defined. So here in this text, Vyasadeva is realizing that the entire Veda is all about knowledge, and this knowledge is too big and comprehensive for the readers. Who are the readers? The readers are us in this age of a Kali. And it's described in this age of a Kali, the people are short-lived. And even though it says a Kali, you have like 100 years, but Srila Prabhupada is saying, and we are also practically saying, that we really don't have a lifetime until 100 years. So we are very short-lived, and our capacity, memory capacity, is too low, and we cannot really consume all the comprehensive Vedic literature that has been initially compiled by Vyasadeva. So it's very comprehensive, and he understood that, and he is dividing the Vedas to make it more accessible. why is he doing that? If you really see why, what makes him to do that, it is because of his act of love. So he is compassionate for us, and that's why he is doing this. He is dividing it into different branches so that that can be utilized. Vyasadeva is demonstrating that the real love is giving of transcendental knowledge to others. So when we give this transcendental knowledge, to our capacity, like we are not perfect, and we have therefore defects. We know about that, but we are not to our capacity. When we give this transcendental knowledge to others, there are two things that are happening. One is attachment and detachment. So as we continue the instructions that are being received from the transcendental knowledge through devotional service, detachment from matter and attachment towards the Supreme Lord Krishna, that will automatically happen. So we don't need to worry much about the detachment. So if we focus on the attachment, like already the detachment process is automated and it will happen on its own. So that is why he's saying Vyāsadeva is taking all the efforts to give this real love through transcendental knowledge. So that is this intent. And he's predicting, he's always thinking about the conditioned souls, and he's thinking about what is coming in the future. So great souls look far ahead to see what is happening in the future. And to compare this age, that the great scientists or so-called smart people, they cannot even predict anything what's going to happen in next 5 minutes. So that is where we are. But the great souls, they are so compassionate, and they always think about how is this going to be benefited for the readers. So that is where we are going to. So in this age, we are here. Srila Prabhupada say we are perplexed, and we don't know what we are actually doing it, and we have short memory. We quickly forget about our existence. Our existence in this material world is a risky endeavor, and we quickly forget all these things. And here also, Srila Prabhupada is saying the real advancement means it's a progress of knowledge in spiritual advancement. So a progress of knowledge in self-realization, that is the real advancement. If you see, if you generally ask people, right, I'm not talking about any devotees or who come in contact to Srila Prabhupada mercy or anything. If you generally see people, they are more centric towards their life. It's called my life, my goals, my aspiration, my interest. I and my take precedence. That's something that that automatically, spontaneously that comes up. Okay, and very keen in expressing their talents. And if you ask them a question like sir, how you have been, how your life had been so far, you are, let's assume that you are talking to some old age person, who has somehow not get the mercy of a devotional service. Just generally ask something that I have experienced, something like that. And like this say, I have lived my life being mine, I'm okay to die, that sort of a statements. I had lived in my way, that I had taken care of my goals, my aspirations. Like that sort of a tendency will automatically come. I have done this, I have done that. Is no concept of like I tried. That bending itself is not, it will not automatically come unless or otherwise we have been trained in that aspect. So I'm not saying everyone is like that, but there are people in this Kali Yuga where I and my tendency, it's automatically manifest. Okay, but the life is not working in that way. It does not work in that way. You see that. So what is Vyasadeva's instructions to all of us, and how is that? What is Vyasadeva going to do for me, right? Because I am trapped in this material world, and this is a lockdown situation. It is not only during the pandemic, but this is the exact lockdown situation where I am being smashed and struggling with the six senses, the five senses, and one mind. I'm constantly being roasted and struggling in this material world without having any knowledge. Where the material body, what I'm having is the mask in this material world. I'm trying to deal with this material body, but it is very challenging. And the real issues here is giving the knowledge, giving the knowledge with great love. That is the real thing. But I'm totally forgotten what Vyasadeva is talking here and Srila Prabhupada is talking here. But I'm acting in a way that whimsically that I'm trying to do something on my own. And I'm very proud of my age. I'm very proud of my accomplishment, my goals, things, anything, anything that people around me is favorable to my goals. I treat them as my friends, and anyone who is trying to give something against my interest and aspiration, I treat them as enemies. So that is how the tendency and my attitude is being nourished in this age of Kali Yuga. So what does it signify? It signifies I am being trapped in the dark, ignorance. That's why Srila Prabhupada and as part of our spiritual practice, we offer prayers to our spiritual master to open my eyes with the torch of knowledge. Om Ajnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalak Chakshur Unmilitamena Tasmai Shri Gurave Nama. We seek the mercy and we seek the blessings. We surrender to the Guru who can remove from this ignorance. It's it's very dangerous situation. It's very difficult for us to deal with, and in this situation, and the Vedas, the initial Vedas, which are too big and comprehensive, it is not for me. It is not for people like me in this Kali Yuga where people intelligence is too low and are short-lived. What can we even? I don't even attempt to know something called the Vedas if it is too complex. That is why Vyasadeva is feeling that it is difficult for these people because the people in this age are too attached. And we are not attached to Krishna. We are not attached to the right context. We are trying to do something more and more. Attachment is more difficult. And it is also said, if you have more attachment, it is more difficult to die. We can't even quit it. So it is going to create a lot of issues, because of attachment. Building up more attachment is real challenge that we have to face in the life, because we are always dealing with modes of ignorance and modes of passion, sometimes with modes of goodness, that too in mixed state, that we don't have context. Rajoguna agitates you like anything. Like the mind is constantly agitated. If agitation can come through all sources, there is nothing that we have control over it. Let's say like I wave a hand to someone and he who neglect me intentionally or unintentionally, then my mind is getting agitated. Like Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says like agitation, we have to be careful that our speech should not agitate others. Like if someone calls or someone, we are waiting for some response from someone, even in condition, if they neglect, that's creating a lot of agitation. Why is this person as neglecting me? Like that is also not the right thing, because somehow or other we are becoming instrument for others' agitation. So responsiveness is very important. I mean, like what I'm trying to say, the mind is subjected to even some petty things. Mind is subject to agitation. Very difficult thing. And taking shelter of the modes of nature is the constant thing that we are always trying to do. And Maya is so powerful. The job of Maya is to cover us over. Do this, do this, do this, and taking away from anything that is related to Krishna. That is where we are being trapped in this world. So speaking about Vyasadeva is so compassionate. Like if without Vyasadeva's compassion, we will not be having any opportunity to know about Vedas and other things. So if you really see the installment, the first installment of compassion that Vyasadeva has given is, he has divided, in this text it says he has divided the comprehensive Vedas into different branches. So that is the bigger thing is being put it into smaller branches. Even shouldn't calling it a smaller, even the four Vedas is very big for us, and it has a lot of information that we are unable to consume it. But he has done that. And the second installment is his love to prepare Srimad Bhagavatam. I repeat, he has a love to prepare Srimad Bhagavatam, because um, without Srimad Bhagavatam, it is very difficult. Like, we cannot really access what is being given in Vedas and all those things. Srimad Bhagavatam is Veda, and he has the real love to prepare. He didn't stop with what he has done, a big Veda, and he has divided into different branches. I'm done, sir. Thank you very much. I will leave to rest. He didn't stop like that. He was not contented with what he have done. So that's it is why he was not contented. So what is his what makes this dissatisfaction? Why these things? Because it is all for our services. For he was dissatisfied. It is similar situation like how Arjuna was put into delusion in the field of a battlefield. In the battlefield, he was put into confused state. Why, why great souls are to be like that? It is for our benefit. It is for something big has to manifest. They have taken that role here. Vyasadeva is put into some sort of a delusion, and he is not satisfied. He's not satisfied with his job. So that is a real like self-evaluation, like we do in work as part of our self-evaluation. But here, as soon as his project is completed, like, he is feeling a sense of like a dissatisfaction. So what he did, he approached his guru Narada Muni. I have composed all these Vedas and Mahabharatas, but somehow I have not getting the satisfaction. And Narada Muni said, yes, you have done everything. You have compiled these, but you have you have failed one thing. You have failed to sufficiently glorify Krishna. You have done everything except to sufficiently glorify Krishna. So that is when Narada Muni asked Vyasadeva, are you satisfied with being just the body and mind as the object of self-satisfaction, self-realization? No, that's not possible, right? Just you cannot be body and mind cannot just be the object of our self-realization. Then fundamentally we are missing something more. So here he is going to the root of his self dissatisfaction. So he's saying, he identified the problem that I'm not being satisfied with my work, and the second is doing a root cause analysis. What is the real problem that is happening? So he's going to the root, and through the guidance, so he's approaching. I repeat again, problem manifest about dissatisfaction, and he is going to the root cause of the problem, and he is taking the help of a guru, sadhu, and shastra. So he approaching his guru and is revealing his heart that somehow, like, I'm not contented with my work, and he is receiving that mercy through the guru, and he is trying to glorify Krishna by writing Srimad Bhagavatam. That is how Srimad Bhagavatam has manifested, and is a real love for preparing Srimad Bhagavatam surfaces by this action. He is put into a dissatisfied state, and this is all happening because for the preparation of Srimad Bhagavatam, it is for our services he is entering into the state. And his realization is satisfaction. So we hear like a chanting and hearing about Krishna is the complete satisfaction, which is true, but we may really get it, or we may not be get it. It depends upon our sadhana bhakti and all those things. But it is true, and glorifying Krishna should be our life and soul. That is the instruction that he is receiving from his spiritual master Narada Muni. Very important. Like, and today we are in like very famous thing, like we live our life as it goes, and everywhere we talk about love, and there is a very famous quote, it's available, you might have seen that in some shops where the hoardings are there, or in the internet: love as if there is no tomorrow. So you have to love, there is no tomorrow. That is how they emphasize being to love. That is fine, but the concept is like as if there is no tomorrow. That is not true, right? In our conditioned state, for conditioned souls, there is tomorrow. There is no way there is, we can say that in the conditioned state, like there is no tomorrow. But the challenge is we don't know in which body we take up tomorrow, because we are constantly doing something or other, and there is a greater possibilities for sure that we may end up in some body, that there are so many species, 8,400,000,000 species available as defined in the Vedas. And unless we purify and get out from these clutches, it is not possible that we say there is no tomorrow. There is going to be tomorrow, because this is said in the Shastras. What is said in the Shastras? We are constantly shackled by time. Time is the one which Krishna's Shakti, Kala Shakti. The time is so tricky and intricate, it ruins everything. No matter you are a super big, efficient, capable person. Let's take a simple, like you have the greatest ingredient to prepare pasta. You are the #1 chef. But the pasta cannot be eternal. It will be ruined by time. You have the fridge, you put it everything, you cannot retain for a longer time. The freshness is gone after some point of time. So time is ruining everything. So that is very thing. We are always subjected to imprisonment. We are in this material world is like a prison house, and we are always subjected to past, present, and future. There is no way of timelessness unless we go from this platform to other platform. Yes, knowledge is very important, and I don't deny our goals, my responsibilities, my aspirations, but everything, all these things should be guided and put into right context. That is the intent of Srila Vyāsadeva, to really prepare the Vedas and make it more accessible, so that we understand the context and align our life, so that we can progress in self-realization. And his very strong instruction that he received from his spiritual master is spell out Krishna loud and clear. You have done everything, this, that, you have not sufficiently glorified Krishna. Go ahead and spell out Krishna loud and clear as much as possible. And that is the takeaway that he has took from his spiritual master, and he implemented Krishna as the #1 in focus of his writing. Anyone can write to his capacity, but if you don't sufficiently think that everything is coming from Krishna, everything, the knowledge, the apparatus, everything, Ishavashyam principle, everything is coming from Krishna. But if you don't understand and act, at least that, then we are missing that Krishna as #1. Our focus is not on Krishna. We are trying to write something. There is nothing in this world that is away from Krishna's property. We are utilizing. Right now, I'm speaking in front of a laptop. Everything material or spiritual, everything is coming from Krishna. And if we totally forget and engage in some other thing, yes, I'm doing some other thing, I'm missing the point that Krishna is behind and Krishna is the #1. That is the mistake that will tend to do it. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is saying, and Vyāsadeva is saying, what is this? Nityam Bhagavata Seva. Every time, every day, worship and render devotional service. So our root of dissatisfaction, if you see in my life, so many things I need that, I need this, so many things that will happen. But everything has the something or other. the more we understand about the real root of dissatisfaction, I think we will be in a position to be in a more successful state than in a miserable state. So we don't even need to do a heavy lifting, because this Srimad Bhagavatam and Bhagavad Gita, like, they have given everything, and they have very explicitly said what is the root of dissatisfaction. Like, you are not this body. The first lesson says in Bhagavad Gita, you are not this body, and then it keeps on progressively saying so many things. And here in this text, the advancement of knowledge is possible only through the progress in self-realization. So how do I achieve that? I have to engage in devotional service, which Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Sarva Dharman Parityaja, Mamekam Sharanam Vraja, surrender unto me. But Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appeared. He is nothing but a Krishna. He appeared and he is demonstrating how to surrender. So we have a practical facility that is being given. Everything is being documented. So, and there are real good souls that are available to facilitate and nurture our consciousness. The only thing is, somehow or other, I'm trapped, I'm lazy, I am complacent. It's not working. Like, at least by theoretically, I believe this process. I believe Krishna as a supreme personality God. It becomes a second nature, and it will be very easy. And I somehow or other, by the mercy of the great souls and the Guru, I will one day reach the destination. Srila Prabhupada says, like, you, even if you are a luscious person, even if you are a thief, just have one desire theoretically. One day I want to meet Krishna. One day I want to meet Krishna. Please develop that desire. I'm speaking for myself. I don't have that desire, but just simply artificially create the desire that one day I need to meet Krishna. I'm sure that is Srila Prabhupada's words and the great Acharya's compassion towards that will take us. We'll be satisfied with our life through our bhakti process. Thank you very much. If there are any questions for a discussion, probably we can take few minutes on this topic.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Guru Maharaj, Srila Prabhupada.
Hare Krishna,
Thank you very much, Prabhu. You are just, you couldn't stop. I can say that. I mean, that is very wonderful. How to put it in the Vyasadeva's important contributions out of so much compassion, and still the most of the population is going like here and there looking for something or the other. Thank you very much, Prabhuji. We are in, this is the lockdown situation. I like that. Thank you. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Okay, Prabhu. I think it's 5 minutes on top of the hour. So if there are no more discussion, probably we can stop here.
Okay, Prabhu. Thank you so much, Prabhu.
Thank you, everyone. Thanks for joining, and really seek your blessings so that can be sincere in taking the advantage of the Srimad Bhagavatam. Vancha kalpatarubhasya kripa sindhubhya patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha.